right across as well. So quick introduction, we're going to show you what translated app looks like, what it's worth doing, how it works, and how to actually do it. So this is my application, 6 Degrees, had about 1,500 daily active users in January. It's what part of it looks like in English, it's what it looks like in French, and in Spanish, and in Danish, and in Catalan. And I don't speak any of those languages at all. I drop off severely after English. I can probably understand some of the French parts about it. It's also translated, I have parts of it translated in Korean and other languages that I don't know what they are. So why would you bother translating how it is translated application? Well, this is Facebook's international growth for about 6 months of last year. So the United Kingdom is quite high growth, but then we've got Chile, Colombia, a lot of Spanish-speaking countries. This growth has continued throughout the year. Where my application users come from now is from the past month. Google's, with Google Analytics, their maps, you see there's a kind of smattering and colouring all across the world, including the UK, around to the US. Spain is the big group of users, and Argentina, surprisingly, quite like South America. Putting the figures up, see, these are monthly visitors, 45,000 from Spain, 12,000 from Argentina. It's not until the third place that we get to English-speaking users, so about 70% of my application users are using my application in languages that I don't understand and that I didn't write any of that content. You see from last year, this is what kind of triggered it. The top graph shows a spike in early June. And I looked at my Google Analytics stats and I saw all my users, suddenly I had a big spike of people going from Venezuela and Chile, so I thought it might be worth trying out this Facebook translation tool. So US users underneath, US users, English-speaking users over the past year stayed pretty steady, but there's been a huge growth since June in Spanish-speaking. So how does it work if you're a user? Well, a user who's decided to enable the translation tool gets this little pop-up in their bottom right-hand corner next to the chat and the notifications. They generally ask this if they're using Facebook in a different language anyway. Then when they go to your app, if they've turned on inline translation, they see all the text that's not in their language underlined in red. If they click on it, they can suggest translation to go on there. To enable this technically, it's just one tag that you wrap around the text. So when you add a piece of text, you put the FB International tag around it, and that's it. That adds all the red text, all the red tags, and you don't really have to do much else. It took me about 2 hours to do a whole application. You could be slightly more complicated if you wanted to do form buttons and XML tabs and that kind of thing. But the basic tab goes most of the way. You enable application translations in your application. So you go to the application panel at the top right. You just go down to translations, then you've got a list of languages. I enable them all because I couldn't see any reason not to. When users start translating the app, you go into an interface and you can approve the translations before they go up. Obviously, I have a very good idea most of the time what users are translating, but I approve them anyway because other users who are viewing these languages can vote them down if they don't like the translation. So I don't see that there's any particular reason for anyone to particularly abuse that tool. There's no instant feedback. So the downside of it, you do need, I think, a decent user volume, or some very keen users who are bilingual. The translation will be patchy. You won't end up with more language translated into Spanish straight away. You'll end up with some languages that will probably never get translated. When you work with FML applications, another good reason for using FML over iframes, you don't have access to the translated text, so you can't then go and move this application onto MySpace or another social network. And the other thing, which isn't an issue for me because it's not a commercial app, but you could have customer support issues. If your users are using your application in their native language, they're generally also going to be asking questions about language. So I have got a question on my application more that I don't know what the question is and how to answer it. But I figure some user will come along who does, and it's only a fun app anyway, it doesn't make too much difference. So why is it great? Well, obviously more traffic. I've got 4 times more traffic from people reading the application in a language that I don't understand than I had before. Users are doing the work for you, which is added tags for a few hours, and it gets translated. Well, other users are translating what they're saying. Well, I think it's the least satisfying form of vandalism there must be to mistranslate an app, given that you'd have to submit a comment, submit a translation, get it approved, come back in a week, hope that it's gone up there. And I also think it's something that's an advantage to the small player. I can't see brands, because of that control aspect, wanting to take up this kind of thing. But as a startup, when you've got a better relationship with loyal users who are going to get no kind of kicks out of mistranslating your application at all. I think it's gives a good boost to a site. That's it, fastest run through.
And so that's